Back in 1977, we basically launched a message in a bottle into the cosmic ocean. Attached to the Voyager 1 and 2 spacecraft was this golden record, a time capsule designed to tell the story of our world to whoever might be out there. So, what did we actually put on humanity's mixtape for the Milky Way? Let's get into it. And this, right here, was part of the official greeting from humanity, spoken by President Jimmy Carter at the time. It really sets this tone of profound hope, doesn't it? It's a message from one civilization just reaching out across this unbelievable gulf of time and space, hoping someone, somewhere, is listening. So, what is this thing, really? Well, at its heart, it's a time capsule. It was designed from the ground up to communicate the story of our world to any extraterrestrial civilization that might stumble upon it thousands or, heck, even millions of years from now. Okay, so the object itself, it's an absolute marvel of engineering. We're talking about a 12-inch copper disc plated in gold to protect it from the ridiculously harsh environment of deep space for, get this, 1 billion years. The contents were carefully chosen by a committee led by the brilliant astronomer Carl Sagan, who had this just impossible task. How do you even begin to summarize all of humanity on a single record?
Now, this is where it gets really, really cool. How on earth do you tell an alien civilization how to play a record without using a single word of any human language? The solution was to turn the record's cover into a universal pictographic instruction manual.
And the key to unlocking the whole thing? It comes down to the most common element in the entire universe, hydrogen. See, the diagrams on the cover are all based on a specific property of the hydrogen atom that acts like a universal stopwatch, ticking at a constant, predictable rate. This tiny, tiny tick, less than a billionth of a second, becomes the fundamental unit of measurement for decoding everything else. Just brilliant. And check this out. This shows you how it all works. Using that hydrogen-based time unit, the binary code on the cover tells you the record should spin at 16 2/3 RPM. Other diagrams literally point to where you should place the stylus, how to convert the audio signals into images made of 512 lines, and they even give you a simple circle as the very first image so you can calibrate your screen. It's just an incredibly elegant piece of scientific communication. But the cover didn't just tell you how to play the record. Oh no, it included something way more audacious, maybe even controversial. It included a map showing exactly where it came from. This diagram right here is a pulsar map. Think of pulsars like cosmic lighthouses. They're spinning neutron stars that shoot out radiation at these incredibly regular intervals. The map shows the position of our sun relative to 14 of these known pulsars. And because the frequencies of these pulsars slowed down over time at a predictable rate, any advanced civilization could use this map not only to find us, but to calculate exactly when the Voyager spacecraft was launched. And just in case that wasn't enough, they included a backup clock. A tiny amount of uranium-238 was electroplated onto the cover. Since we know its decay rate perfectly, you can just measure what's left and get a completely independent way to figure out how old the spacecraft is. Talk about thorough. All right, so you've decoded the instructions, you know where we are. What do you actually find on the record? What story did Carl Sagan and his team choose to tell? Well, they packed it with this rich tapestry of greetings, sounds, music, and images, all meant to capture the essence of our planet. The audio starts with greetings in 55 different languages, from ancient Akkadian all the way to modern dialects. It also includes the sounds of Earth, things like wind, rain, a mother's first words to a newborn. And then there's this, the brainwaves of Andrew Young, a key member of the team. As her brain activity was being recorded, she meditated on human history, civilization, and the feeling of falling in love. She was literally sending her thoughts into the cosmos. Now, choosing the music, that was a huge challenge. And it wasn't just about what sounded good. It was a deep philosophical debate. How do you pick a soundtrack for an entire planet without letting your own biases get in the way? You had Timothy Ferris arguing for Western classical music, like Bach, thinking its mathematical structure might be universally understood. But on the other side, you had ethnomusicologist Alan Lomax, who fought for a much more diverse global selection that really represented all the world's cultures. In the end, they struck this beautiful balance. The 90-minute playlist has Bach's intricate concertos, for sure, but it also has Chuck Berry's Johnny B. Goode to represent youth and rebellion. It's got ceremonial music from Zaire and the haunting slide guitar of Blind Willie Johnson's Dark Was the Night, which was chosen to convey the universal human feeling of loneliness. And then, in the blank space on the record, a final hopeful message was hand-etched into the master copy. It's just a beautiful tribute to creativity, a message of solidarity with artists everywhere, no matter what planet they happen to call home. So, where are these cosmic messages today? Well, they're still out there, continuing their journey, traveling silently into that vast emptiness between the stars. They are now farther from home than any object ever made by human hands. Okay, let's try to wrap our heads around this number. As of early 2026, Voyager 1 is about 171 astronomical units away. Now, 1 AU is the distance from the Earth to the Sun, so this probe is over 170 times farther from us than our own star. It's a scale that is it's almost impossible to truly comprehend. And to put that into perspective, get this. On November 13th, 2026, Voyager 1 will be one full light day away from us. That means a radio signal traveling at the fastest speed possible in the universe will take a full 24 hours just to get there, one way. Now, we expect to lose contact with the probes sometime in the 2030s when their power finally runs out. But their journey? Oh, their journey will have just begun. They're going to drift silently through the galaxy for eons. In 40,000 years, Voyager 1 will pass the star Gliese 445, and in nearly 300,000 years, Voyager 2 will have a distant encounter with Sirius, the brightest star in our night sky. And all of this brings us to one final, really profound question. Was sending this message, complete with a map to our front door, an act of supreme optimism, or an incredible, maybe even reckless, gamble? You know, the core of this whole debate really revolves around this kind of chilling idea, one that's taken seriously in the scientific community. It's known as the dark forest theory, and it hypothesizes that the reason we don't hear from other civilizations is because they're all hiding. In a universe with finite resources, any new civilization is seen as a potential threat. The theory runs on a few simple but honestly terrifying assumptions. 1. Every civilization's primary goal is survival. 2. Resources are limited, which leads to competition. And 3, because you can never truly know the intentions of another species across the vastness of space, the safest, most logical strategy is to eliminate any potential competitor before they get the chance to do the same to you. So you can see the two sides, right? Critics argue that sending the Golden Record was a reckless violation of this precautionary principle. But supporters, including the folks who made the record, counter that the risk is tiny. I mean, we've been broadcasting our existence with radio and TV waves for over a century. Compared to that constant leakage, 2 tiny, silent probes drifting through the void, they barely even register. And so that's where we're left. The Golden Record is this beautiful testament to our curiosity, our art, and our hope for connection. But whether it will one day be seen as a warm greeting from a long-lost friend or an invitation to a predator, well, that's a story that will only unfold in the vast, silent future.